In chapter 1, when you had constant speed or constant velocity, you had to worry only about one formula, which is the one that you know for a long time in physics. Speed equals distance divided by time, or velocity equals displacement divided by time. This formula can only be applied if you have constant speed. But now you have constant acceleration instead. So you have varying speed. All right? This variation is linear in nature, so you have a constant acceleration, but you will have to worry about more quantities. So you'll have now a total of 5 quantities to worry about. You have the acceleration itself, you have the initial velocity, you have a final velocity, you have a time, and you have a displacement. So 5 quantities. So you have to have a new set of formulas that will allow you to calculate all these things. And these are called the SUVAT formula. The reason being because the displacement is represented by S, initial speed by U, final speed by V, acceleration A, and T for time. So SUVAT formula. Okay? You have a total of 5 of them, and each one relate 4 of these, leaving one out. Let's look at them. First one is this one. There is no particular order. I just put it this way. V equals U plus AT. If you look at this, this is just a rearrangement for the formula of the acceleration, right? If I rearrange this, putting V as the subject, this is what you get, right? So you have V, U, A, and T. Which one is out is the displacement, S, all right? This one over here is what? This is basically a variation, an adaptation of the formula. Speed equals displacement divided by time, or the displacement equals the speed times the time. But now, what speed is this? This is the average speed, U plus V divided by 2, okay? This formula relates S, U, V, and T and leaves the acceleration out. These 3, I'm not going to bother explaining how they come to be, because this is something that you learn in physics if you have physics AS. You are not required to derive these formulas in mechanics, just need to know how to use them. This one is S equals S0 plus UT plus 1/2 of AT squared. This S0 is what? This S0 is the initial displacement that you will have in some questions. So I included it here on this set of formula. This one leaves V out. This one is S equals S0 plus VT minus 1/2 of AT squared. This one leaves VU out. And finally, you have this one, V squared equals U squared plus 2AS, which leaves T out. Now, do you need to memorize these formula? The answer is yes and no. No, because you have them in MF19. At least you have 4 of them, okay? This over here, you have 2 variations. One that has the initial speed and a positive acceleration. Another one that has the final speed and a negative acceleration. You don't use this that much, but anyway, it's a formula and I included it. And the reason why you will need to memorize it is because you will. You are going to solve so many questions with these that even if you make an effort not to memorize them, you will, all right? So you will need this. If you need this in an exam, that's a bad sign, all right? As simple as that. If you need to look at this formula in an exam, something is wrong, and there's not a big chance that you'll get a good grade, because this is going to be until the exam day so many times with you that you will know this by heart, and probably already by the end of this week if you do the required work from now on. A couple of notes about these. With the exception of time, all of these are vectors. So the sign matter. For example, if you have a deceleration, this is not going to be a plus, this is going to be a minus. All right? So pay attention to that. If this velocity, if the final velocity is opposite in direction to the initial velocity, so this is a minus, this is a plus, or the other way around. So you have to define first what is a positive direction and then work accordingly to all of the vectors. All right? If you define that way as being positive, any of these vectors that point the other way is going to be affected by a minus. This is crucial for you to get all these questions right. All right? Now the thing is the consistency of units. I already mentioned this in my previous lesson. If you have, for example, a speed in kilometers per hour, it doesn't make sense for you to have a time in seconds. All right? And finally, don't forget that this A can be the acceleration of gravity or the free fall, which is basically G and has a value of 10 meters per second square here in mechanics. In physics, you use 9.81. Here, the precision doesn't matter that much. What matters is you knowing how to operate with these formulas. So they just use the value 10 meters per second square. Again, don't forget that if you consider positive up, G is going to be, in all of those situations, affected by a negative value. It's now time for you to look at these and start practicing with questions. And even in chapters that are closer to the end of the syllabus, these are always going to be present because everything is going to be mixed. So these are formulas that you learn for the first time probably today and eventually you will never forget.